This is how we ride. This is how we do.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here today to talk about the high limit schedule that has somewhat come out. Also, a little bit of an update on how they're actually rolling this schedule out. Everybody kind of expected something at PRI, but PRI was over, and there was a message on the socials of how they were going to release things or something December 12th. And right now we're seeing a pattern. I actually reached out to some people, and the pattern is for sure. But let's look at the schedule and how everything is lining up. The so far release schedule, Lakeside, 34, Kokomo, Wayne County, Tri-City, and Eagle Raceway. Now, I personally am so excited to see Eagle Raceway get a 410 sprint car date. So we're finally going to get real man sprint cars back to the Eagle Raceway, and we're getting that on June 6th. Now, obviously, the first race and all these races kind of definitely Midwest. Two of the tracks we're not used to seeing 410s at much. Winged at least, Kokomo and Eagle. Obviously, World of Outlaws not at Kokomo. Of course, Eagle, I just elaborated on that. Wayne County, Tri-City, they've seen their, shake up. And, of course, Lakeside and 34, they've had some outlaw dates here recently. Just 34 hasn't had the greatest weather to actually have the races that they've had scheduled occur. Something that's very interesting is when we're looking at these schedules here and these dates for these events, Lakeside the 50K, that's April 11th. You have to go over and tune to the World of Outlaws schedule, April 11th. So the race is right there, centricated at Lakeside in Kansas, right after the 81 Speedway event, on the way somewhat to Missouri at Lakeside for $50,000. Very outlaw-centric so far. Now, the second race is at 34 on April 25th. That is in between Knoxville and Tri-City, Granite City, Tri-City, which is actually on the high-limit schedule later in the year, a month later. Obviously, it's not much of a detour if it's a detour at all. I'm pretty sure, actually, it's along the way. Kokomo on May 2nd. That's between Tri-State and Indiana, and before the Litz Race 2 at the Eldora Speedway. Then you have May 16th, Wayne County, and that's going to be in between Williams Grove and Attica. May 13th is at Williams Grove, May 19th at Attica, and then they'll go to Sharon as well, Friday, Saturday event. But that Tuesday, prior to that, you can go to Wayne County and race a high limit event. Tri-City, like I said, they're in between Knoxville and Tri-City earlier in the year. Now they're putting a Tri-City race on in between Lawrenceburg and River Cities. On the way, little bit of a detour, I'm going to say, just based on the driving that I have been able to do. Maybe if it was me, obviously this is a dream scenario, but if it was me between Lawrenceburg and Indiana, I would have probably went to Deer Creek, and that would have been a badass race and would have been along the lines of going that direction as well. Then they go to Eagle Raceway on June 6th. Almost a week later. Actually, I think that is a week later. So these are separated by, it looks like every 2 weeks, except for Tri-City to Eagle. That is a 1 week gap. But everything else prior to that 2 week separation, 11/25, 2/16, 31, and then 6 at Eagle. And that is in between the Minnesota race at Ogilvie and Knoxville. So you will have, if you're going to go down to Eagle, you do have to somewhat make a detour if you're an outlaw guy. But it is within the vicinity of Knoxville. It's a couple hours, a little more than a couple hour drive. So it is possible if you want to do that. And that's the 6 races being released so far in 2 days, the 12th and the 13th today. From my understanding, talking to my reliable sources, let's just say my reliable source is going to be on the show Thursday. And by Thursday, we'll be able to talk about the entire schedule and talk about a bunch of stuff. And that special guest coming on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern here live on Long Live the Chaz. It's going to be Brad Sweet. And what I'm being told is there's going to be 3 tracks released every day this week. So tomorrow, Wednesday, you'll have the 7, 8, and 9 date. And then Thursday, you'll have the 10, 11, and 12 date. And then we'll have Brad Sweet on the show to talk about everything that's happening. And me and him were texting just a second ago. And I was saying the one argument, I know that this is very outlaw-centric schedule-based. This is very in-between outlaw races. And this series is built to give those outlaw guys extra opportunities to make money while they're stuck out on the road. Most of these guys have to stay on the road, so why not go to a race Tuesday or something and make some additional funds? This is for the World of Outlaw drivers, the top elite race car drivers in sprint car racing, to give these top elite sprint car drivers more money. That's the goal. The late model world ain't trying to give more money to, like, you know, the 50th guy. They're trying, the money is out there for the biggest names in the sport to chase it. And that's what this is for. It's the high limit series. That's exclusivity, elite. But that is the one argument where I see the World Outlaws have a case for their disgruntlement of the situations is, and NASCAR people and all these people. Why would you go to 81 Speedway on April 8th when a couple of days later you can go watch Kyle Larson race at Lakeside? Is Kyle Larson going to be at the 81 Speedway event? But he's more than likely going to be at the Lakeside event that he's hosting in some form or fashion, more than likely racing. So if I'm a fan, why do I want to go to 81 when I'll just save my money and go to Lakeside? I mean, I'm sure they'll have a crowd, but this is the argument. Because, see, the argument would be, well, in the Outlaws' favor, they would say, without the high-limit situation, well, you're going to have to come watch us because you're going to get to see Donnie Schatz, all these drivers that we have contracted. And if you want to watch Kyle Larson, then you'll go to that race, but you won't see the World of Outlaws. That's why you have to go to this 81 event. But in this scenario where all the drivers are wanting to go to different races, and I'm for it, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Now the World of Outlaws say, well, the reason you should come to 81 Speedway is it's a World of Outlaw event, and that's pretty much it. Because if we're allowing these Outlaws to race other events that we have contracted, now if you want to see Donnie Schatz, all these people, and Kyle Larson, you don't go to our event, you go to the high limit event. As a fan who's just going to pick one or the other, which one's more an attractive event. And I think that's where the Outlaws are saying we need to keep that exclusivity to where, yeah, you can only see these guys here because we are in a promoter's battle, whether we like it or not. We're all trying to get fans to come to the racetrack and tune in, etc. Now, I think there needs to be a point where we have enough fans to sustain everybody, and everybody's making a lot of money. But this is the argument, I think, that the Outlaws are trying to make. Yeah, it's in between two races. Yeah, it's not too far out of the way. It's this, it's that. But why would I go to 81 Speedway in Wichita, Kansas to watch the World of Outlaws when I can go to the high limit race at Lakeside? And if the Outlaws are allowed, most of the big names are going to be there, and Kyle Larson and all these other things. So it makes, to me, this first race at Lakeside is more valuable for a sprint car fan to attend than the 81 Speedway event prior to that race. And I think this is where the Outlaws are trying to make their case, and it does make sense. We should have enough fans to be able to sell out 81, sell out Lakeside, and everyone gets all the eyes and the views, and everyone lives happy and makes all the money in the world. That's what we should be aiming for. That's what we should be. I don't know if we're there yet. That's where we should be. But I think that's why we got to get this sport more progressive into society and more aware, in generality speaking. So, this is the first 6 races. 6 more is going to be coming out over the next 2 days. Wednesday, you'll see 7, 8, 9. Thursday, we'll see 10, 11, 12. Then we can talk about the schedules, how they align. Is there going to be a Tuesday race outside of the Outlaw schedule? Although this schedule is kind of for the Outlaw guys to make some more money while they're on the road. That's what the, kind of mission statement is from High Limit. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. But we will see. And then Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have this full schedule, this full discussion, these full Devil's Advocate positions with Brad Sweet. Live here on Long Live the Chaz. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, what do y'all think? Which side are y'all on? What do y'all think about the schedule and how it's lining up? Eagle Raceway, that is so amazing to see that come back. Deer Creek, though, that would have been a really good spot, I think, between Lawrenceburg and that race at River Cities. And it's a super badass track. I mean, maybe the Chaz got to put on a show. No, I'm just playing. But we'll see you later, and don't forget, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, Brad Sweet will be here to not only talk with me, but also we'll have a live chat segment in there. We'll have people chiming in. It's going to be a good show. The full schedule will be out for the High Limit Series come Thursday, and then we will have all the discussions that we may need to have. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, catch you next time.
This is how we ride. This is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up high.